Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It's Laith at Managing Marathons, and this weekend I will be running the Ultra Trail Snowdonia. That's the UTS 50. So here we go. Now, looking at all the stuff on the table, it seems like a huge and enormous amount of kit that I need to take. Having said that, I have been running extensively with, I'd say, 95% of it, apart from a compass or a whistle or something. So we're all good. But as I say, looking at it on the table, it does seem like an awful lot of kit. Now, I'm doing the UTS 50, as you know. I know others doing the 100 and 165k, which to me at this stage of my marathon training seems insane, but I'll be working up to the 100k at some point, I'm sure. So let's crack on. I'm going to show you the table now and go through the kit item by item. As much as anything else, it's for my own sanity to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, but also if at some point you're going to be doing the 50k, the UTS 50k in Snowdonia, part of the UTMB series, this may be a useful reminder recap for you. And even if you're not doing it this year, 2024, the core elements I believe will stay the same for 25 and 26 and onwards. Some bits of it may change, of course, weather dependent. They do have a hot and a cold list as well, which is also mandatory or highly recommended. So let's crack on and I'll show you the kit right now. So hello and welcome back. So here we've got all the kit, and it looks like an awful lot on the table, as I said, which is a bit scary. But having said that, once you chunk it down into bite-sized pieces, it's not so bad. So let's go through the kit. And as I said, it's an extensive list, and I'm only doing the 50k. But I totally understand. It's partly safety and partly, of course, to make sure that you're secure on the mountain. I've been up to Snowdonia 6 times now on the various paths, from Ranges, Llanberis Path, the Pig Track and so on, even over Crib Goch. So I'm well aware how the weather can change, like that in an instant. And sometimes I've been driven off the mountain as well. On a very basic path like the Llanberis Path, getting up past the second railway bridge, and then the wind just picked up. It was horizontal rain. Even with all the right kit on, I just got driven down the mountain. It was just too risky. So I'm well aware why the kit list exists, and I would obviously highly recommend that we follow the kit list, because the weather changes in an instant up there. Anyway, here we go. So first off, we've got suitable trail running footwear. Well, I'm going with these, and these are my Hoka Speed Goat 5s. I've just got them. I'm very familiar with the Hoka brand. I do like the tread that they've got on there. They're fantastic for sort of up and downhill, and they're sort of an all-rounder. They're great on mud, they're great on grass, good on rocks, wet or dry, and good on sort of hard-packed gravel and sand, that kind of stuff. So these will work very well. I get them a half size over for me because I've got slightly wider feet, but the grip is fantastic. These are only 4mm lugs on here. My older ones, which have done about 800k now, are the Hoka Mafate Speed 4s. Now I really like these, but I wanted to try the Speed Goats, so I've got a pair of those. I've done 3 or 4 long runs in the Speed Goats. The Mafate 4s have originally come with 5mm lugs. Now what's lovely about the Hoka brand is at UTS, which is fantastic, I think you had to book early, so I managed to get an 8 a.m. slot on Friday morning. That's the day before the start of the race, and Vibram are there, or Hoka, no, Vibram Mega Grip are there, and they will be replacing the tread for free, which is fantastic, on these. So I'm really chuffed with that. I've never had tread replaced on trail shoes, or any race shoes for that matter, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do that and what they'll be like when they're done. I'm not sure why it's for free, but obviously brand loyalty is part of it, and customer service. So I'm really chuffed with that. That's well done, Hoka. Really appreciate that. To buy a new pair of Mafate 4s is about 160, 170 pound. And the uppers and the laces are absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with them. It's really just the grip has worn down, but after 800k, you know, they've done a fair amount, so I'm not complaining. So that's a suitable trail running footwear. Second, waterproof jacket with hood. So I have got the very simple Mackinac sack, works really well, and it's waterproof to 10,000 millimeters and it's breathable, which was the criteria as far as the mandatory kit list was concerned. Then the jacket must be fitted with integrated hood, which that has, and the seams must be sealed and fully taped, which that is, and the jacket must not have any sections of fabric which are not waterproof. So all of that is kit compatible or compliant, as it were. So that's great. Then we're looking at long-legged trousers or race leggings. So I've got long-legged trousers right here. Now I don't think these were Decathlon. Bear with me. These are Sondico, which are very, very warm and fit beautifully. These are a very good brand. I mean, they're not the most expensive by any stretch, but they work really well. So that's Sondico long leggings. Then waterproof over trousers, which are here. These are by Regatta. So these are waterproof over trousers, which are not only waterproof but also breathable. Now I'm normally a large, but the trousers specifically, I get them in XL. I go one size over, a bit like the trainers. I tend to go a half size bigger. One, because I wear knee supports, and I've got obviously my shorts on and socks and trainers, and I just like to get these slipped on quickly rather than faff about and try and pull them up over everything, and it gets too tight. So yeah, waterproof and breathable men's over trousers, which is great. Then we're looking at waterproof gloves and a warm beanie. So waterproof gloves, a couple of things. I've got two sets of gloves. These are my gloves of choice. They're just New Balance running gloves. I like them because they're lightweight, and by all accounts the weather this weekend is going to be quite warm. So whilst the mandatory kit says you know, waterproof and warm gloves, in case it's warm I'm going to be wearing these, if at all. But of course, as it's mandatory, I do have a very good pair of waterproof gloves. These are cycling gloves, totally waterproof and felt lined on the inside, so they're super warm. So I've got the gloves, I've got two sets of gloves in fact. Warm beanie hat, yeah, this thing is insanely warm. It's a Thinsulate beanie hat, very, very warm, and it'll fold down into nothing once you crumple it up. So that's the beanie hat. What else? Let's have a look. Kit list. Running pack. So running pack, very straightforward. I've got a Harrier running pack. This is a 10-litre running pack. It's got a built-in whistle, so we don't have to worry about the whistle. It's got an insane amount of pockets, zipped up pockets for all kinds of things, for your gels, for your water pack, and all kinds of little goodies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's 10 pockets in total, with little loops everywhere. So if you need to put your long straws from your bottles through them, they're very useful. And of course on the back, also very useful, the back is actually split into two pockets. One, if you can see that, I'll have my hydration bladder in there, and the second big pocket in there is where I'll put all the other goodies which are part of the kit list. And of course adjustable straps all over it. In fact, just something to note, I've replaced these little straps. I've got a second set of Harrier just to double check that they didn't perish on the race. Because if they do, this thing's going to be flapping about and it's going to be really irritating. So it's well worth replacing those if they look like they're going to be perishing anytime soon. Right, so that's the running pack. So that's fairly straightforward. Smartphone switched on, airplane mode switched off, and to download Live Trail application. Well, I'll put a screenshot of that. The Live Trail application, very good. It shows you the route, the distance, the elevation, everything you need to know about the route on the 50k, and it'll be the same for 25 and 100 and 165k. So that's great. Reusable cup, 150ml, which is one of these. I got that from Harrier, really easy. It crumples up into something very small, so that's easy enough. That's just to make sure you can get some drinks at the drink stations. Capacity to carry a minimum of 1 litre of fluids. Well, you definitely got that. I've got these 2 little bottles. These were from Decathlon. I really like these. They're not solid, but they're not floppy plastic either. Slight blue in colour. 500 ml each, and I've got 2 of those. As opposed to this, which I used to use. Nothing wrong with this in terms of the brand. It's Ron Hill, but I find them a bit irritating once you've used all the water, once you've drunk all the water. They just get really floppy, and then they're just irritating to try and tuck back in to the pocket. I have heard people talk about a tip where you can just blow them back up and put them back in the pocket. But these are sort of semi-solid, and even when they're empty, you can just tuck them back in. From Decathlon, I think they're £7 or £8 each, which was fantastic. And then, of course, the bladder with the long straw. I don't know if you can see that. That's 2 litres and 2 lots of half litres. So that's 3 litres of fluid that I can carry. And the summer kit, you know, the heat kit, the hot weather kit, says we have to carry at least 2.5 litres. So we're good with that. And that bladder tucks into the back of the hydration vest, as I'm sure you're aware. So that's that. Functional head torch with spare batteries. Yes, I've got 2 functional head torches. I've got 3 here, in fact. I'll probably take this one, the green one. It's got easily changeable battery compartment. There's the batteries in there. You just click that shut, and I've got spare batteries for that. Here's a pack of 3, which I tape up with masking tape, and then one which is rechargeable. This one is super bright. I can't remember how many lumens, but very, very bright. And this one's rechargeable. And I've also got the power bank to not only charge the torches, but also to charge the mobile phone, the smartphone, which is again part of your compulsory pack. And there's a smartphone, so I'll be taking that as well. Okay, now let's move on to the survival bag and the bivvy bag. Now that's one of these. That's a survival bag. It's not just a warm blanket, it is actually a bag. I think it needs to be 2 meters minimum length. So that's fantastic. I've taken it out. It's a great bag. It looks quite robust. Then you also need a first aid kit, which I've got here from Harrier. Everything you can imagine that you might need is in there. One small tip, it doesn't have blister plasters. I've ordered those separately from Amazon. They're blister plasters specifically, which work a treat if you ever get blisters. Thankfully, fingers crossed, I don't get them anymore, but I always carry the plasters just in case, because you never know. So that's the blister plasters, which I'll be putting in to the first aid kit, and easily accessible if we need them. What else have we got here? So self-adhesive elasticated bandage. Yes, that's part of this pack. This is my little medical pack. It's got aspirins, it's got safety pins, it's got my spare contact lenses, all kinds of stuff in there, as well as the adhesive. So that's a little pack that'll just go in one of my pockets. That's nice and easy. And then what else do we need? The whistle is part of the hydration pack. Compass, nice and easy, and I bought one of those on Amazon. I think it was $3.99. Nice little compass. So, and I think they also need a map. It's not on the list there, but I know I saw that somewhere. So map of Snowdonia and the summit. But I believe they give you one at registration anyway, so I'll have that as a spare, as well as the compass. So that's good. And then the personal ID, which is basically, I'll take my driving license, so that'll be the personal ID. What else have we got on this amazing kit list? So for hot weather kit, now I anticipate it's going to be warm. Looking at the forecast, it may be as high as 19 degrees C. So we need sunglasses and a Saharan cap. Now I got this cap, I have got a Saharan cap, hat rather, so I'll be taking that in my normal bag just in case we need it on the day. Sunscreen, yes, definitely get some sunscreen. I've got SPF 50, and this is a nice little handy size, and it's got rounded edges, so it's not going to stick into you wherever you put it. So that's a nice little round one. You can, if you want, take this out and pour it into a little plastic tub. You can get them at Boots or Superdrug. That's another little trick you can do, is just take them out and put them into another smaller container, a bit like these little containers you get for Nivea or Vaseline, which again is compulsory, not compulsory, but recommended. So yeah, that's it. And then they also recommend a warm second layer, which is long sleeve cotton excluded, so men's size medium or combination long sleeve underwear. So got all the extras that you might need. There's the long sleeves, again very, very warm. This is not cotton, but it's a very warm top. Again, I think this was from Decathlon. And the long trousers, as I said, as well as the long waterproof trousers. Now, so that's all the kit, as it were. And as you can see, there's a lot of it. Just as an aside, I'll be taking at least 2 pairs of socks. Runderwear, which if you're in the game, you know that's runderwear, which is anti-chafing underwear, but they also do runderwear socks, which I find fantastic. They're padded, they work well, and they definitely do not rub or chafe, which is fantastic. But I'll also be taking a second pair of socks, which are hilly, and I will actually be putting those in my pack, because if we go through a lot of wet stuff and I get to an aid station, it's usually quite nice just to change your socks and just to have drier feet, as it were. That said, one trick you may or may not know is Vaseline is, before I start, I tend to smother my feet liberally, as it were, with Vaseline, and then put my socks on and then put my shoes on. It was a tip that was given to me before the London Marathon by a chap who just happened to sit next to while we were stretching. And he said, oh, it's going to be a wet one. And I said, yeah, I'm a bit worried I might get blisters. And then he just told me, try Vaseline. He happened to have a tub with him, or his girlfriend, I think. And he literally just help yourself. So I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. So I literally just smothered my feet in Vaseline, put my socks on, didn't have a problem at all with blisters. And I've done that ever since. And I've done 4 half marathons and 8 marathons, full marathons, since last year. That's in 12 months. Every single time I've used Vaseline and I've never had a problem. Fingers crossed, and it's worked every time. So that's brilliant. And as an aside, it's going to be a warm one, I think, but just in case it's not, these hand warmers are great. And so these I experimented with a couple of times. You just literally bang them. When you open the pack, you just crack them open and put them inside your hand. Some mittens come with a little compartment where you can put them in. And if it is a cold one, these things are fantastic. You put a couple in your pockets, you can put a couple on your hands, on the back of your mittens. So I'll take these. I doubt very much I'll be using them, but just in case. And also as an aside, I got Tiger Balm Red and Tiger Balm White. Tiger Balm Red I used before the marathon. I just rub it on my legs to make sure they're warmed up and the muscles are all heated up. And the Tiger Balm White is basically a recovery tool that I use after the marathon. I'll just rub the white on there, and it really kind of soothes your legs and your muscles, which is fantastic. Good, so that's the kit, and as you can see, there's a lot of it. I've now just got to pack it all neatly in a bag. Onto the hydration and nutrition, and there seems to be an awful lot of it here. We've done the water, so you can see here that I've got the Tailwind different flavors. These are pre-packaged mix for 500 ml mix of water. So I'll put one of these in here. Now what I'll do is, as I know I'm approaching an aid station, I'll make sure one of these is empty of water, and as I'm running, I'll take one of those, it'll be in one of my handy pockets, empty it into an empty water bottle, and then when I get to the aid station, I'll simply fill it with water, shake it up, and then I'm good to go. So I've got 5 of those. The Moreton premix, I'm having the Moreton premix one the night before and one the day of the race, the morning of the race. And then of course the Moreton gels. Now these are the larger ones, 160, so they got 40 grams of carbohydrates. Now I've got 6 of those and 4 of the caffeinated ones, which isn't enough for me, at least. For a marathon I usually take roughly the same amount, so this is obviously longer than a marathon, but I have got other bits and pieces. So I'm taking protein bars, Cliff Bars, these wonderful waffles, although I will wrap them individually. You can see they come in one pack. And of course, a couple of savory things like Baby Bells, and I've also got some mini cheesy pretzels, which are good just in terms of a different taste rather than just a sweet taste. Some rice bars, which are from Steiker, I think you pronounce that, and a dark chocolate and a cinnamon caramel, and then Serene, because they do also stipulate a minimum 800 calories emergency food. That's well more than 800, so I'm okay on that front. That's probably more like 2,000 calories on the table right now. Plus we got the aid stations, plus I'll be having a big breakfast, usually porridge. So that's it. One final thing is I will be taking this belt. I love this belt. I've tried so many different belts. This one's Evadict. This one specifically is from Decathlon, but it's got some great pockets. It really has got a lot of pockets and very flexible and very secure pockets. And the best part about it is it's got these toggles, which means you can tighten the belt to fit your size depending on how full it is. So you can see there's an awful lot of pockets, even miniature pockets in here for keys or tablets. One at the front, well, 4 at the front, and about 5 at the back, including this waterproof pocket here where you can put, I don't know, keys or a phone or something. So I will be wearing that as well. And the other reason I'm wearing that is to put this camera that I'm using in right now. It's got a little tripod and the camera itself, which I'll be putting in the front pocket up there, so I can film this, and hopefully you'll see the results on YouTube a few days after the run. So I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions at all or comments, please put them below. This is also for the community, because I found other videos like this really helpful when it comes to running a race that I've never run before. And I do read through the comments on other people's YouTube channels, and I find them really useful, because it just, oh gosh, I didn't think of that. Oh wow, yeah, that's a good idea. So if you've got anything like that and anybody's watching my channel and you add to the tips and techniques and tricks that you've learned over the years, that really does help. So thank you very much for watching. If you're running, have a cracking run, whichever race, 25, 50, 100 or 165k. The weather's going to be good, maybe a tad hot, but it's going to be a fantastic weekend. I look forward to meeting you there. I'm running for Young Lives versus Cancer, so if you see me, I think I'm the only one running for Young Lives versus Cancer, so if you see this top, that'll be me, and just come and say hi. It'd be great to meet you. All right, take care and good luck.